Welcome to another 10 at 10 for 10 training and leadership development. And we're going to be covering some very important information for our current membership. So if you're already a member, you're going to want to probably hear this message. Okay. All right. So, you know, if you're going to do anything, you should have vision that goes out there a ways, not just something, for the next week or the next month, but a vision should be way out there. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do today with you guys is I'm going to kind of cover the vision of, pool funding, what, and where we're ultimately going to go, at least in part, I mean, if I were to download everything, we'd be here longer than a few hours, you know what I'm saying? And I'm only going to spend a few minutes expanding on the vision here. Okay. So obviously, we have a $10 pool, and we've been talking about opening up the $100 pool, but it turns out that we're going to open up the $1 pool before we open up the $100 pool. And we're going to open up the $1 pool before the end of this month. And then a couple weeks later, we should be ready to open up the $100 pool after that. I'm expecting the momentum to be there, coming from the $1 pool and in through the $10 pool to create the kind of energy we need in order to have a successful launch of a $100 pool. Okay. And again, I've earmarked September, October, that time frame for the $1,000 pool to open that up. But you may be asking, okay, great. And then what? After the $1,000 pool, then what?
$10,000.
That's what a Anoop wants. He's like, we got to open a $10,000 pool. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think the 1,000 we're gonna be hitting the market pretty hard. We'll be sucking out money, fast enough, right? And so probably 1,000 good enough. But anyway, no, but we are going to create our own gold-backed digital currency. Okay.
Beautiful.
That comes next. That's the next thing to happen. Okay.
That sounds great.
So we'll raise revenue from multiple sources. Okay. We will buy gold. The gold will be sitting in a vault with a well-known and there's certain vaults around the world that people trust. You know what I'm saying? They have a good reputation, right? So at a reputable vault where the gold is going to sit, and then on that vault's website will be published the fact that we have X amount of gold in the vault, right? We'll just have them publish it and update it regularly to show how much gold is backing our gold back coin. How's that sound?
Mm.
Sounds wonderful.
That sound good?
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's excellent. Excellent.
And then guess what happens, guys? You want to take a guess what happens after that? Giving you guys the vision here. Think
Another
about
coin.
Think about the gold-backed coin. Okay. So do you guys know what the smallest unit of measurement is for gold? Do you guys have any idea what that is?
The gram.
A lot of people say gram, but there's actually something smaller than a gram.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did not know that.
It's called a grain. Okay.
Oh.
So right now, 1 grain of gold is, between $3 to $4, something like that right now for one grain. It bounces between $2.50 to $4. It's kind of in that range. And basically, what is a grain in measurement? There are 470. So hear that again. There are 470 grains of gold in a troy ounce. Okay.
Wow.
That's how it breaks down. It's pretty small, right?
Yeah.
A lot smaller than a gram, So basically, you know, we could call those $1 bills, kinda, right? We could call a grain of gold is like the smallest unit, like the $1 is kind of like the smallest paper dollar, right? Yeah. And
Makes sense.
naturally, what we could do with that is we could say, why are we using USDT? Right? Why
Ah,
why not use a coin that's, you know, in our domain, in our, within our control, right? Because here's the thing, you know, anytime you use somebody else's stuff, they get to make the
Come-
rules, right? They get to make the rules. Am I right?
yes.
Right.
Right.
What if a couple of those guys, those head honchos of Tether say, we don't like what you're doing with Tether pool funding? What does that mean to us, right? So
Problems.
and so I'm thinking ahead. Okay, so again, vision is about thinking ahead, right? So we'll set up our own go back currency. People will then make payments and so we'll there'll be adjustments because things don't equal exactly a dollar, but things measured in grains of gold, we can get in the same ballpark, if you will, of a dollar, $10, $100, $1,000. We can do that, right? And when it comes down to digital, things can break down into percentages, right?
Right.
But anyway, um, so that's what comes next is that we start to develop that. We raise as much money as we can for that. We create a gold back currency that people will want as a stable coin. You know what I'm saying? And all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted, all that kind of stuff is done properly, right? And go from there. And then we'll be able to do what we want to do with that. Okay. Which then goes to the next part of the vision. Okay. The next part of the vision is expanding the utility of our coin. So currently, what is the utility of PFB? What is the utility of it? Who can
Supporting this program.
How?
That's what we're using as a support for this program.
Okay. Can somebody be specific?
It puts money in the
Paying
pool.
paying the assurance and paying the monthly fee.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Hunter.
Pays the
So,
guarantees.
right. So basically, the utility is in order to participate in our pool, like the $10 pool, you have to pay an access fee monthly, and you have to purchase it through PFB because we only accept PFB for the access fee. That's one utility. And then if you want to protect yourself from timer mishaps, you can get assurance, and we only accept PFB for the $10 pool mishaps when those happen. Okay. So
So paperwork with PFP.
yeah. So those are that's the utility. Okay. Reason to buy the coin. You buy it to pay your monthly fee. You buy it to get assurance to protect you from timer mishaps. Okay. Now, we can expand on that utility. Okay, especially with a gold-backed digital currency. Okay, we can expand on it and say, well, what if we just open up ourselves to the digital world? How big is the digital world? Do you guys ever listen to digital music? Do you? Some of you might use something like Spotify, right? That's just one example. What if we had opportunities to purchase music, and pay in our coin? Okay. How about movies or film? That's digital too, right? Look at Netflix, right? What if we created something that would be akin to a Netflix that could end up growing and at some point become like an entire library of every film ever made. You know what I'm saying? And you just had access to everything. But but also some premium stuff, right? And so yeah, so music, movies. How about games? Are games digital? Do people pay for games? Right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. And if we're really thinking digital and computers, what about internet access itself? What if we become a world supplier of access to the internet? What about that? Right?
Hmm.
Okay. What if we get so big, there's so many of us that we have the power, people power, to just, be a conglomerate of all things digital. Okay, look what Amazon did. They started out just ebook, not ebooks, but they started out book, ebooks, whatever, and then they expanded into everything. Right? That's what they did, right?
Mhm.
So
Right.
if you're gonna look at the long-term vision of pool funding, it's like we're going to add utility by making it possible to use the coin, that you have to have the coin in order to access our network of digital products and services, software, whatever, everything, all things digital, the entire metaverse, right? In our access point to it, right? So that's the vision. What do you guys think about that vision? The utility of our coin down the road.
Excellent.
Absolutely doable.
Right?
Hard for me to comprehend.
I love it.
It's big, right? So,
Worldwide.
so the whole point is you can use dollars to pay for things, but you could use PFB to pay for things, right? So we're just basically saying, look, we're going to provide a good deal to our members. I mean, if you take a look at the Sam's Clubs, the Costco's, they were shopping clubs. When you go to the origin point of Sam's Club, go to the origin point of Costco in the US, right? And they were just a group of people that said, if we pull our money together, we could be buying big blocks of cheese instead of this little tiny bit of cheese, and we could save a lot of money buying cheese. And how about, we could buy a truckload of bread and get a good deal on it versus, buying an individual loaf. Same thing with the milk and the eggs, and right. And so
Right.
they started out
Right.
as buying clubs. That's how it started, a co-op, if you will. And look what it's turned into. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you walk in, you're like, these things are bigger than an English castle. You know what I'm saying? Right? They
Yeah.
didn't make castles that big, but these warehouses where you buy stuff are bigger than that, The only thing missing is a moat around it, So, but yeah, so when you start to get into my head and start to see the way you look at the world, I always look at, I'm a visionary. I see things in a big way, and I want pool funding to outlast me. I want this to be here, serving the people long after I'm gone, and I plan on being here for at least another 50 years. But I'm hoping with life extension technology kicking in, could be another 100 years. Who knows? But long after I'm gone, pool funding is still going until a human being figures out what it really is and doesn't need money after all, but up to that point, and up to the point of everybody figuring that out, then, we're going to use money, and we might as well have something that's kind of falls in the category of the people's money, if you will. And people will start to look at pool funding like a version of people's money. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And it's backed by gold. People will like that, right? And then there's all kinds of things that you can get for it, and it would be built on fair economics instead of these wild card economics we're dealing with today. Are you guys sick and tired of the wild card economics? Like, you never know what's going to happen next. in the
Yeah.
economy?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
They play another wild card. Like, I didn't see that coming. You know, they're going to do what? You know, quantitative, what did you say? Quantitative easing? Aren't you saying hyperinflation to me? You know, you know, yeah. But you know, let's just do it. You know, when it comes to you know, dealing with the ability to have a medium of exchange, I think it's a good idea to have something that, you know, is sustainable, right? And not just some crazy, you know, make it up as you go kind of thing, right? So a gold-backed digital currency, that really makes a lot of sense to me. And yeah, and then we can add all kind of utility to that with everything digital. And then we're not having to store products or warehouse anything because we're just in the digital space, right?
Right.
So, you know, it's going to give a few people jobs, but you know, in the digital world, you don't need a whole army of people working for you to run things in a digital world, right? Just takes just enough, right? So it's scalable, it's global, and it works. So I appreciate all of you attending our training today. Today was kind of different. I'm not sure this was as much training as it was laying out the vision to you to let you know that this is meant to be something really big. You know, the idea, the innovation of supplying people with funding that they don't have to pay back, that's a big innovation on the idea of funding by itself. But coupled with that, we can open up so many doors to, you know, make life better for every member, and then making our community even more attractive down the road. And so what if everybody in the whole world joins in, right? It'd be okay. How about that? No problem. They can all join. Okay. All right. So thank you. And for those watching on YouTube, we do appreciate you too. Please be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, and a positive comment. Bye for now.